Nay. My name is Arya, and on my 24th birthday, my mother gave away my brand new SUV. She handed the keys to my older sister, Madison, right in front of me, and all I could do was stand there, watching my birthday present drive away. My mum's explanation was simple. Madison, a new mother, needed the car more than I did. She said it was the right thing to do, the family thing to do. Jess watched, silent, as the car disappeared down the street. A few weeks later, we were at my Grandma Eleanor's 70th birthday party. I had to take an Uber to the restaurant, feeling a little embarrassed as I walked in. 40 family members were there, and as soon as I sat down, my mum started telling everyone the same story. She announced how generous I was, how I'd willingly given my car to my sister. I could see the nods of approval from my aunts and uncles. I was stunned, but I kept my composure, just like I always did. This wasn't new. Growing up, I was always the invisible sister. Madison was the star, the one who got all the attention, while I was the quiet observer in the background. All family photo albums are filled with pictures of Madison's achievements, with me just a blurry figure on the edge of the frame. Even now, as a freelance writer, my mum dismisses my career. She can't understand why I don't have a real job like Madison, who works in an office. It's a life of being overlooked, of feeling like my accomplishments don't matter. 2. The only person who truly saw me was my grandma, Eleanor. We had weekly video calls, and she was the one I shared my writing with, my dreams, my frustrations. She'd listen, nod, and tell me she was proud of me. It was our special bond, a little island of understanding in a sea of indifference. For my 24th birthday, my parents and Grandma surprised me with a beautiful new Honda where it was parked in the driveway with a giant red bow on it. I was speechless, overwhelmed with joy. For the first time, I felt truly seen by my parents. I thought things were finally changing. But a month later, Madison's old van broke down. Without even asking me, my mum drove to my apartment, took my keys, and moved my car to Madison's garage. She said, it was just until Madison's van was fixed. I was furious. I tried calling my mum, my sister, sending texts, but it was useless. My mum insisted it was a family emergency, and Madison acted like she was doing me a favor by using my car. The feeling of being invisible came rushing back, stronger than ever. That's when I decided I'd had enough. I wasn't going to be silent anymore. The stage for my confrontation would be Grandma's 70th birthday party. I put on my favorite emerald green dress, called an Uber, and walked into that restaurant with a new sense of determination. As I entered, I saw it my SUV, parked right out front, with a baby seat already installed in the back. Madison waved at me from across the parking lot, a casual, oblivious wave that felt like a slap in the face. The betrayal was so sharp, it took my breath away. We all sat down for dinner, and my mom, raising her glass for a toast, announced to the whole family, "Want to thank Arya for her incredible generosity. She gave a new car to Madison to help her out." A murmur of approval went through the room. I was frozen in my seat, the lie hanging in the air. But then, I saw my grandma. She wasn't smiling. She was watching my mother with a sharp, knowing look. Grandma Eleanor cleared her throat. "That's an interesting way to put it," she said, her voice cutting through the chatter. Arya gave her the car. "Are you sure that's what happened?" The table went quiet. My mum looked flustered. "Of course, Mum Arya understands. It's for family." "Family is about respect, not just convenience," Grandma replied, her voice firm. The tension was so thick, you could cut it with a knife. 40 pairs of eyes darted between my mum, my grandma, and me. Then, Grandma delivered the final blow. "You seem to have forgotten the agreement you signed," she said. "The one that came with the money for Arja's car?" Whispers erupted around the table. My mum's face went pale. Madison looked completely shocked, finally realizing I had never agreed to any of this. My mum tried to deflect, saying it was a family matter, but Grandma wasn't letting her off the hook. That's when my Aunt Patricia, my mum's sister, spoke up. "Juno," she said, looking at my mother. "Arya has always been the quiet one. It doesn't mean she doesn't have feelings." For the first time, I felt a wave of support from someone other than my grandma. My Uncle Robert then cleared his throat and placed a folder on the table. "Eleanor asked me to bring this," he said. "It's the trust document and the DMV registration." Grandma unfolded the papers for everyone to see. She read the key clause aloud. The car was purchased with a $28,000 gift from her trust. Specifically for Arya, it was legally and morally mine. And the agreement explicitly stated it was not to be transferred or loaned out without Arya's written consent. The room was in stunned silence. Madison burst into tears. My mum just sat there, exposed. The family narrative she had controlled for so long had just crumbled. Justice, when it finally comes, is a powerful thing to witness. Madison, crying, walked over and placed the keys in my hand. "I'm so sorry, Arya," she whispered. "I just assumed, ... I took the keys, a quiet sense of relief washing over me. But Grandma wasn't finished. She looked at my mother. And as she said, "You will apologize to your daughter for taking her car, for lying to this family, and for making her feel invisible for her entire life." My mum, with the eyes of 40 family members on her, reluctantly mumbled an apology. It wasn't perfect, but it was a start. As I stood there, keys in hand, I wasn't the invisible girl anymore. I was Arya, and I had finally found my voice. Thank you for listening to my story. If you've ever felt overlooked, know that your voice matters. Don't forget to follow for more stories.